Welcome to the 2019 14th annual raw and living food class, which I am calling the uncooking class. I do this every year for the Mad River Valley, and we film it on the Mad River Valley TV. And tonight I have Benjamin Harmon at the camera. Thank you so much. And my assistant is Constancia Gomez, and my name is Anne Marie Harmon. And the reason I do this for the community is because more and more I see as examples of how we can incorporate food. Let food be thy medicine, as Hippocrates would say. And so I feel like this is my little part in sharing information. Tonight is meant to be a discussion. So if anyone has any questions, please, we're supposed to go back and forth, or if you have information on particular topics, please let's all share and learn from this. What I'm going to do tonight is the first thing I'm going to do is make almond milk. Then I'm going to utilize the almond pulp. Every year, people ask me, Anne-Marie, what do you do with the pulp? Because it seems like such a waste to put it in the compost. So tonight, we're having chocolate brownies made with almond pulp. So as soon as I make the almond milk, next I'm going to make dessert, the brownies. And then I'm going to put the brownies in the freezer so that they will be ready for us for the dessert. Then I'm going to make 3 breakfasts, then lunch and bread with lunch, raw bread, that is, well, uncooked. And then I have 2 snacks, a dinner, and then the chocolate almond coconut brownie dessert. So for the breakfasts, we're all drinking the first part of the breakfast. If you have a garden, like my husband and I had a garden for many years, we could grow a lot of cucumbers. And this would be our breakfast. We would just go out in the garden and then with the Champion juicer, make juice. So the 3 breakfasts is one. Then I have chia seed pudding that I've made last night. And then I'm going to make a breakfast shake. That's the breakfasts. Then for lunch, I'm going to talk about salads and why we use romaine versus kale versus watercress, because of each one is used for beauty. Each one has either sulfur, silicon, zinc, and why do we need those minerals? I'm going to go all over that. And I'm going to demonstrate a salad dressing that I've used in my house for over 15 years now, and it's the favorite for everyone who wants to come to the house. And believe it or not, here it is, my 14th time doing this, and it's my first time demonstrating it in one of these shows. So I just thought I would keep it simple this year. And then I have a dehydrated bread that I'll be demonstrating, and then the 2 snacks, I have a pepita snack and a fruit roll-up snack. And then for dinner, I have a macaroni and cheese. But of course, I'm not going to have any macaroni or cheese, but it's going to taste very similar to macaroni and cheese. I've got the macaroni and cheese version for children that I've pre-made, so if anyone wants to taste that. And then I'm making one for adults with garlic and basil and shao and other spices to spice it up. Yes?
I just
Yes, so I'll let the audience know in the beginning, if you are allergic to nuts, the only things that will have nuts is the entree, the mac and cheese, and the almond brownie. That's it. That's the only thing that has nuts. Because she's not that's almond milk. Okay, so but the almond milk, the only thing we're using the almond milk for is the brownies. We're not going to put it in anything else.
What about the chia seed pudding?
Oh, that's right. We do have almond milk in the chia seed pudding. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, we have almond milk in the chia seed pudding. So I will not make the shake with almond milk. I don't usually. So you'll be able to have the breakfast shake.
You can always substitute rice milk for almond milk.
Always can substitute rice milk.
Soy milk? Can you use soy milk?
No, and I don't use soy because soy, and if anyone else has information about soy, it's typically very GMO, and also the process in developing soy milk is over-processed, and
So,
it's not
rice milk or
bioavailable.
Coconut milk?
Coconut milk's great. Yep. Yep, exactly. Okay, so let's get on with the show. That's the main thing. So, and then I'm going to be demonstrating equipment through the whole thing. Oh, and before I start cooking, let me tell you why I'm doing this. So in 2004, I had 3 young boys. They are now 28, 23, and 20. But at the time, in 2004, they were really little, and I knew nothing about nutrition. And here they were, burgeoning athletes. They were into snowboarding and skateboarding and lacrosse. So I wanted to give them the maximum nutrition. So I made a prayer, actually. I sent out a message to the universe. I need information on nutrition. And within a couple of months, I get a phone call from Nicholas, my husband, who's at a trade show, and he's selling the Verilux product or demonstrating the Verilux product, and someone comes up to him and says, "We need your light at the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute." And now a bonding and a friendship has been made between us and this institute. The first year, we were able to make an arrangement to give them lights for us to be able to go down for a week for the classes. This changed our life. Primarily, the information that I will be demonstrating tonight is coming from the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute. Ann Wigmore was born in the 20s, and she died in the 90s, and she was instrumental in bringing wheatgrass juice to the country. She was just a Renaissance woman. She had PhDs and many, many degrees, and founded 3 institutes, and one of them is in Puerto Rico. So primarily Ann developed this, but then her followers after that continued to incorporate the current studies and our current research on the digestive system and how the digestive system works. So everything tonight is based on how does the digestive system work so that we can maximize the food we eat and make it bioavailable for us to produce energy and thoughts and our vibration. So the Ann Wigmore Health Institute, so he calls me up and he says, "Anne-Marie, do you want to go to the Ann Wigmore Health Institute in Puerto Rico?" And I said, "Sure." And he says, "There's only one catch." I said, "Okay, what's the one catch?" they require you at the Institute to do an enema every day. So at that point, I didn't care. I didn't care if I had to do an enema. I was going to go down there and learn why we do enemas and the importance of elimination as part of the whole cycle of processing. I'm not going to go over enemas tonight at the class. That you'll have to go to the Ann Wigmore Health Institute to learn about how to do an enema, but they definitely walk you through, and it's a very important part of our health.
Stop tapping on the mic.
Okay. Okay. I will stop. So the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute is what I'm going to be using as a resource. This book. We've been going about every 2 or 3 years. We've gone to Puerto Rico 5 times, and the last time we were there was just last April. So I did get a huge refresher on what we're going to do tonight. Cool. Okay, so now we can get on to the program. The juicer, the Champion juicer, is what I was first introduced with. However, there are many other juicers on the market. This is an old war horse. It's very heavy. However, I've had this, not this one because this is the one we use for our office, but I've had a Champion juicer since 2004, and it's still running great. I mean, nothing has ever happened to it, and we use it quite often. And it has, it's a screen for juicing, and then this is called a blank screen. And what this is for having everything that comes through the juicer come out. So if you wanted to make a nut butter, or if you want to make banana ice cream, things that you don't want to juice, but you want to, what is it, masticate? Masticate comes out that way. So we've got the screen in there now, and we made cucumber juice prior to everyone's arrival. And how we did that is, we turn it on, and you just simply put the cut up fruit and vegetables or nut and press down, and then the pulp comes out here and the actual juice comes out below. So for juice combinations, you could put kale in here, and you can put carrot and cucumber. Just, the world is your oyster. I mean, you can do so much. All right, so that's the Champion juicer. So every morning for the month of August and September, Nicholas and I drank juice. Did everyone like that? Have you ever had cucumber juice before?
Yeah, the last time I was in this class.
So you have had cucumber juice before? No? No? I mean, who would have thought just plain cucumber, nothing else, and it is just so delicious, so refreshing. And if you have it in your garden, it's free, basically. Water.
So on the juicing, were you talking
Yes.
a little bit at some point about why you would juice versus blend? Say you want
Okay,
to put kale and
that's a
all those
very
things.
good question. Why would we want to juice? So juicing is incorporated with blending. Juicing is, according to this guy here, here's a book on water. N.W. Walker. And water can undermine your health. So if you're not drinking the right water, it can undermine your health. But what he states in here, the best form of hydration is actually through juices. Why? Because it's the most pure. I mean, we've got reverse osmosis, we've got filters. Some people can use UV to filter. My favorite, and that's what he discusses, is distilled water. And I do have a distilled machine, but you say, oh, well, you can't have distilled water because it's basically dead water. You've all heard that. Well, what you do is you reactivate water by putting a little bit of salt, sea salt, or even a grain of rice. And then it becomes alive. So to incorporate both is really what is I mean, this, you're not getting the fiber and you're getting super sugar. So if you want to lose weight, I wouldn't recommend juicing. But if you wanted to cure yourself from a disease, I highly recommend juicing, because this is a way of getting a huge bag of carrots in you fast. There's no other way than juicing, is to get a ton of vegetables in you as fast as possible. So, water is what I would like to talk about first. As a matter of fact, this is 10 ounces of water. It's a little green because I put a little cucumber juice in there. But everyone should have some glass, water bottle at home so you know what is 10 ounces of water. Why? Because the amount of water that we need is you take your weight, cut it in half, and that's how many ounces. So I need about 50 ounces of water or more. So how do I get 50 ounces of water? Well, the first thing I do as soon as I wake up in the morning is I drink. And I drink one 10-ounce glass, and then you wait 15 minutes minimum before you have the other glass. So after I drink this, I go downstairs and I make lemon juice. And then my second 10-ounce glass is with lemon in it, lemon water. Then after I shower or get dressed for the day, before I leave the bedroom, I have another 10-ounce glass. So now I've got 30 ounces before I've even left the bedroom. And I'll tell you what, I may or may not get those other two 10-ounce glasses. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But at least I'm assured that I've got 30 ounces in me right from the get-go. So what I recommend you do is you take the 10 ounces and count how many gulps does it take you to drink 10 ounces. And once you figure that out, so for me it's about 13 or 15 gulps. So if ever I'm in a situation where I have no idea how many 10 ounces it is, I just gulp it to give myself an idea of the 10 ounces. It's just something that I came up with along the way from experience. So $15. So, I'm a water drinker, can you tell? You should be able to do that. And with practice, every single day, you'll be able to do that. And people always say, oh, but Anne-Marie, then you have to go to the bathroom so many times. Well, guess what? The body adjusts. Yes, in the beginning, you're going to rush right to the bathroom right away. But if you continue to drink this much water, and then you won't feel thirsty throughout the day, and when you're eating, you will not have the desire to drink water while you're eating because your body will be fully hydrated. And why do we not want to have water with our meals? Well, I'm going to explain that while I make the almond milk. So this, yeah.
Are you gonna mix it more?
Yeah, I'm going to mix it more. What this is 1 cup of soaked almonds. I soak them overnight to remove the inhibitors. What is an inhibitor? All seeds and nuts are coated with an inhibitor that prevents them from growing. You put it in the ground, you pour water, the water removes the inhibitor, and then it sprouts. So if you don't soak seeds and nuts, you're eating dormant food, which is probably one of the primary reasons why so many people are allergic to seeds and nuts, is because they don't know about soaking them. All these seeds and nuts have been soaked overnight. When I soak them in a big jar filled with water, about 5 times the amount of seeds. And in the morning, that water is dark brown. So you don't want to consume the inhibitors. If you have roasted nuts, guess what? That is dormant nuts killed by cooking. So it really is not bioavailable for you at all. By soaking the seeds and nuts, it makes it alive. So now we're getting all of the protein and nutrients that is available to be absorbed in our body. So 1 cup of soaked almonds to 6 cups of distilled activated water for the ideal almond milk. If you have a sweet tooth, then throw in some dates. All right, I'm going to turn this on always with this Vitamix. Start on number 1 and then slowly work your way up. Oh, it was on high. So there's a high and a low variable. So I put on variable or on high, and for some reason, maybe in the transportation of it, it got bumped. Okay, so now that's low. And now I'm going to go high. And then super high. Okay, so there's the almond milk.
Henry, do you have any recommended sources for raw nuts? Is it like the co-op or are they closer?
Yes. Now, the almonds, we ordered them online. And this is because, thank you, California, they passed this law saying that all almonds shall be pasteurized. What does that do? That kills the bioavailability of almonds. So in order to really get raw, truly raw organic, the only way to do it truly is to order online. And I highly recommend this brand. Thank you for the question. Okay, so now she's going to pour it in and, oh, wait.
Oh,
This is a milk bag that I got at the Ann Wigmore Health Institute, but you can order online for that too. So she's going to pour it in the milk bag. Here we go. Keep them going.
Is that much different than cheesecloth or?
No, if you can get a bag of cheesecloth, but it's just very convenient having a bag, because you'll see what I'll be able to do now. Oh, let me, put on some gloves here real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze all the milk out of this pulp, and then I'm going to take the pulp, and a cup of it is going to go in the chocolate brownies.
Which one do you want to put there?
All of it is just going to go in my chocolate brownie. Oh yeah, so I need to make the brownies in a bowl. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's too little. Yep.
Yeah, what about we put these?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so I've squeezed the heck out of that. So here's the pulp. My assistant is going to take this pulp and put it in a bowl that we're going to use for the mixture. Now, here's almond milk. Would anyone like to have a taste of the almond milk? So,
Should we use the same cups?
no, we've got new cups. New cups.
When you add dates, you would just put that in the blender.
Yes, if I were to add the dates. Yep.
Everybody wants to go there?
Okay. So now I'm going to demonstrate the morning shake. While we get the almonds ready, after I do the morning shake, then I'm going to go back to the chocolate brownie because I need to make that chocolate brownie. Yes, thank you. So let's see, the chocolate brownie is on page 20, and it's made with a half a cup of the almond pulp. And I will make this in the food processor. Food processor is, mine is a Cuisinart. And I know that there are other kinds of food processors out there, but this is a very, very old and reliable Cuisinart. Thank you.
Emery, are there any other nuts that you like to use for cooking?
Yes, well, we're going to be using cashews and almonds. Those are the two primary, although cashews, I have to say, is controversial. Does anyone know about cashews? No. Okay, cashews is actually a big seed pod, and then you have to split open, kind of like cacao, like chocolate, is this big seed pod, and you break it open, and there are all these seeds that you have to ferment, and that's chocolate. Well, cashew is this giant seed pod, and it's in the shape of actually a cashew. It's pretty amazing. But the pod itself is toxic. So if there is any even ounce of toxicity, it might get on. So for that reason, purists, like the Ann Wigmore Health Institute, they don't use cashews. However, unless you have a disease or you have immune issues, cashews far and above are fine. Walnuts are difficult to sprout, but you can sprout walnuts.
Hazelnuts.
Hazelnuts are awesome. Macadamia nuts are great. Brazil nuts, we use all those things. Because if you're not eating meat, if you want a meat substitute, then it's seeds and nuts. Okay, so here's a half a cup of the pulp. I need a spoon. Hold on.
Do you always need to soak them overnight for the
Big
brownie
spoon.
or to that?
We had a
Take
wooden
effect
spoon
or
that was with the
overnight?
Hold
Usually
on.
about 8 hours.
Can you, hold on, I got to get a spoon. Pardon me?
Here.
Yes? What was the question?
No, she was asking how long to sprout, and do you have to do it overnight?
So generally speaking, nuts take overnight. And if you soak seeds overnight, that's great. But there's a chart. There's actually small seeds don't take a lot of time, and bigger seeds take more time. So some seeds take 6 hours, some take 12, but if you just do it overnight, then you know you're covered. It's not really possible to over soak. It's just that most of us are time conscientious, so we want to know what is the minimum time to soak anything. The chia seeds, for the chia seed pudding, we make that the night before so that it can have an opportunity to sprout.
Did you sprout them in water or milk?
These were sprouted in milk, almond milk. So exactly. So what I'm going to do when I get to the chia seed pudding is I'm going to make chia seed pudding without almond milk.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So as I promised, I'm going to make. Was this not awesome?
It was awesome.
I mean, doesn't this taste completely different from the boxed stuff that we've got?
Yeah.
And was that not so quick and easy to make? Unbelievable, right? And I don't know if it's cheaper. That I haven't figured out, but I don't think it's less expensive.
No, those almonds are very expensive.
They're like $10 a pound.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put it in the refrigerator, yeah, yeah. Okay, so for the raw almond pulp brownies, in the food processor, you put the pulp. Then place cashews alone in your food processor. Oh, I did that wrong already. See, I'm not concentrating. Well, see, that's why I went back and so first I take the cashews and turn that into like a flour. To do that, after soaking, what I did is I put it in the dehydrator. These are still not so dry that they're going to actually turn into a powder, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure it will be good enough. Okay, so. All right, so I'm turning this into a powder, and then I put in the dates, cashews, and then process them. So now comes the 1 cup of dates that have been pitted and cut in half. Up here. And we'll do that. And then we also, the reason why I put the almond pulp in there first is because that's how I listed it in my book. So when I make my corrections, I'll make sure that I list the cashews first. So 1/2 cup of cashews soaked overnight. Then you notice that looked like a lot more than 1/2 cup. That's because they expanded overnight. Then 1/2 cup of the almond pulp, 1 cup of chopped dates, 5 tablespoons of cacao powder.
So, sorry, the 1/2 cup refers to the dry volume.
Yes. So I had the 1/2 cup of the dry volume and then soaked that.
In lieu of a dehydrator, could you just put them in the low oven for a while to try to dry them out?
Oh,
And
you
then
know,
put 'em-
wait a minute, hold on. Those 2 cups are for, oh no, these 2 cups were for the dinner. I almost used the cups for the dinner. Where is my almond for the,
Your almond, here,
I mean, not almonds, the cashews?
they're still in the dehydrator.
Oh, they are?
Mhm.
They're still in,
How much do you need?
a half a cup. Are you sure they're still in the hydrator?
Yep.
Oh, you're right. They are still in the dehydrator. Great. So let's take those out and we'll put them back into here for the dinner.
Muy bien.
Muy bien. Oh,
But you have the dates in it.
pardon me?
Put some dates. They're gonna be a little sweet.
Oh, I put the dates in already. That's right. Oh, they're going to be a little.
Process them too much.
You did, you could.
I didn't
We can-
process
yeah.
them too much.
We can
I've
say-
got an
Spoon them
assistant
out.
that's going to spoon them out. There we go.
You could put it in the oven at a very low. setting.
Okay,
Things
so
about-
now I'm going to jump to using the morning shake. And instead of using almond milk, I'm just going to use water. And I have a filtered water from reverse osmosis. So it would be a 1/4 cup of water or a beverage of your choice. And then I'm going to put in an apple, cut up an apple. And the apple, I just, very small core.
We can complete that with that.
Yes.
Yep. These
Well,
one
no,
cup.
this is the half a cup of
Yeah, but instead of,
cashews for,
yeah, but instead of using the 2 cups, or should it just take 2 cups straight
I need 2 cups, yes.
with the dates?
Oh, for the dinner.
No.
Oh, no. For this, I only need
Half a cup?
a half a cup of cashews.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yes. So we'll use a half a cup. So you can fill in a half a cup of that. So
So here,
this is what I'm going to use.
okay,
And now everything else will be for the dinner.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Whew, now we got that straightened out. Okay, so now I have to take a few deep breaths. I'm making what Nicholas and I do almost every day, at least when we're not traveling, is we make a morning shake for ourselves. Usually Nicholas makes the morning shake, and then we make an energy soup. Then for dinner, we have a big bowl of greens and then some meat. Or we'll have a starch, either a protein or a starch for our dinner. And actually, it's really, but I'm sorry, excuse me, what are you
So are
doing?
we gonna do this? Should I
I'm going
say
to make the almond,
Oh, you're gonna do,
oh yeah, that's right, I'm making the brownies, so I do need all of the almonds, the dates in there.
mhm.
Thank you.
Henry?
Yes. Yeah.
What are you gonna make in that blender? Is that something that doesn't have nuts?
It has no nuts.
Because if the almond milk was in the blender and it wasn't cleaned out, there's cross-contamination.
This is a brand new clean.
Okay.
We have several.
We have
We have
several,
three.
we have 3.
Because I'm just concerned about cross-contamination.
yep.
With the same containers.
A very good question, very good question. So that was a brand new container.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. The one that she,
And I wash it.
Okay, thank you.
okay. All right, so we put in an apple, kale, and superfoods. And that's breakfast. Either kale or spinach. But usually we use kale. And I've got the kale right here. So the kale is pre-washed and no stems. So because I'm blending this, I don't need to cut it very much. And also, if you have the seeds or any part of the core, that's fine. I think the only part of the apple that's really not edible is the stem. But every other part of the apple is completely edible. And if you have a couple of seeds in there, I've heard that a few seeds is actually really good for you. It's just that if you had a whole handful of apple seeds, that would be not good. It would send you in the hospital. But a couple of seeds is actually good for you.
This recipe's on page 15.
And that recipe's on 15. Okay, so I've got the water and the apple, and now I'm going to add superfoods.
Kale.
Well, I'll put the superfoods in. So for the superfoods I brought today is I've got turmeric. So I'm going to put in, thank you. I'll only put in a teaspoon of the turmeric, heaping teaspoon. Then I've got chlorella, organic chlorella powder.
What's chlorella?
Chlorella is the blue-green algae. It is, this is, okay, well, there's chlorella and there's spirulina. So we try to use some green chlorophyll in our shake every morning, and we try to switch it up between chlorella and spirulina. Then we've got maca. Maca is a superfood from the Incas. Maca, M-A-C-A. We get these superfoods online. The chlorella we can get at the co-op. I'm going to throw in some flaxseed oil.
This is the green drink breakfast?
This is our green drink breakfast. Yeah. Yeah.
And is that better than flax seeds themselves, or?
Well, flaxseed oil has to be in a dark container and it's refrigerated. And we order this online as well. They do sell flaxseed oil in Hurons and at Shaw's.
Is that better than eating the seed itself?
This is much better. This is for the amino fatty acids, the omegas 3, 6, and 9. Perfect balance. So especially if you're a vegetarian, this is really important to have, if you can have that every single day.
What does it do for you physically?
It's the fatty acids. It's leaving me now. Does anyone else know what the importance of omega-3 is? For your brain health primarily. And it's also, it gives you a balance. Most of what we eat is loaded with omega-9 and not a lot of omega-3s. So a lot of people take fish oil to get the omegas every morning. But if you don't want fish, this is your solution.
My husband used to give flaxseed to the chickens, and the eggs were like almost orange. They were like, he just throw flaxseed when we used to give it, yeah.
So what else, Nicholas, should I put in the morning shake?
Coconut.
Coconut. Okay, we've got coconut right here. Shredded coconut. So maybe a handful of coconut, right?
Sure.
And then how about some diatomaceous earth?
Okay.
I won't use so much of that. Maybe diatomaceous
Two
earth.
teaspoons.
2 teaspoons.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that we put in there too is we soak chia seeds. And if you mix them with water, you don't need to soak them for more than like 20 or 30 minutes. Just kind of mix them and then let it sit.
So why diatomaceous earth? Nicholas, you want to explain?
It's supposed to be an anti-parasitic as well as it's got silica in it, which is good for your skin and your hair, your teeth.
So,
Is it a different kind of?
yeah, pass it around.
This is food grade.
It's a food grade, okay.
but,
It's food grade dirt,
Yeah.
is basically
You
what
can
it
pass
is.
that so you guys can see.
And back on the flaxseed, my understanding with them, if you eat the seeds, like where the conversation before with nuts and seeds, but that you have to grind them really finely to get any of the.
Okay.
Yeah, the shells are really hard.
Otherwise it just won't go right through.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to use a clean plunger and a clean top and mix this all up. I might need to add a little more water, starting with low. This is why a Vitamix is the only thing we could really use. No other blender will do, because this enables you to get all of your salad ingredients and then utilize a plunger to be able to turn it into a complete liquid. So here we go. Oh, and another thing I usually add is the superfood cacao. And I need 6 tablespoons for the, which I think I have enough of, so I'm going to throw in a tablespoon of cacao.
You could also add maple syrup if the kale is very bitter to sweeten it up a little bit.
Okay. And honey. How many people would like it if I put in some maple syrup? Yes? Okay.
And turmeric is considered a superfood?
It is a superfood.
It's an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, I know, I mean, I know some of the properties, I just think it was listed under superfood, so I was curious.
My understanding is you need the oil to make the turmeric bioavailable. That's what it is.
Oh, to add the flaxseed and turmeric together to make it more absorbable
Yeah.
in your body.
I thought the black pepper it was.
Yeah, black pepper.
Yeah, in fact, turmeric combined with black pepper was it activated the properties of turmeric.
So when you're having turmeric in your dinner, you would add the pepper. And then when you're having it for your morning shake, you add the flaxseed.
A well-educated man at the co-op.
Okay, here we go. And now Constancia is going to pour these in the glasses for everyone to try. Now I can get back to the cashew and the dates. I've got just the right proportion here. We'll save the kale for another part of the presentation.
And right, if you make it like a special drink like this, how long does it last? Like, would you just keep it for the day, or?
Well, that's an excellent question. So if you make juice, you really have to drink it immediately. The cold press is how people get away with being able to, maybe I should blend it a little more
With water?
with water. Let me just have it's pretty, our shake is usually pretty thick. Yep, let me blend it more. This, that's mine. I'm sorry, thank you. This is the way we have it in the morning, but for everyone else, I think we need to dilute it a little more. But
Should we add some water or no?
yes, we'll add some water. So from the sink, right here. We have reverse osmosis here in a separate faucet from the main faucet.
Solamente un poco.
Solamente poquito.
Poquito.
That's okay, solamente. Oh, all right, here we go, starting low. So a little bit more on water.
You want to try it again, or do you think it's
Yeah,
good?
I should try it again.
Yeah.
Is that the primary reason for eating raw and living foods is enzymes. A little more maple syrup.
So by cold press, do you mean, like, I have a juicer that's a slow-moving dual auger juicer? So
Yeah.
to try not to create heat that kills the enzymes? Is that what you mean by
Oh.
cold press?
No, a cold press is a
Oh,
machine.
just literally
Yeah, it's a commercial
yeah.
machine. So all juices must be drank right away, and everything that you make with the vitamins must be consumed right away. Okay, yep, that's good. That should be good.
You want to try it again? Or?
No, I think it should be fine.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Enzymes. There are a few ways to get enzymes. There are digestive enzymes in our stomach. We all know about those. There's enzymes in our saliva, but there are also enzymes in food. But anything over 118 degrees kills all the enzymes that is available in the food for digestion. It also kills, and this is the main reason for raw and living foods right here. It also kills the oxygen, phytonutrients, hormones, and enzymes that are in, and it leaves about 80% of the vitamins, so it takes away at least 20% of the vitamins. So actually, cooking, because it diminishes the nutritional value of food so much, it's more expensive to cook because you're getting a bigger bang for the buck by not cooking. You're getting more of what is available for you to process by not cooking and utilizing everything that you've paid for your body. So the reason to not drink during your meal is because it will dilute the enzymes that are in your saliva. So we need to chew all of our food really, really well to activate the enzymes. So the standard American diet is we have water with our meal, we don't chew our food, and we cook. So what is a body to do? When the body doesn't have the enzymes to digest the food, and as we get older, we're having less and less enzymes available naturally. The body steals metabolic enzymes that are there for fighting cancer and disease, just for the processing of the digestion. So cells all come to the rescue. If you haven't drank enough water, and you're going to feel like you've got to drink water during your meal, then you're adding the water to the food, and it's going to slow down the digestion and dilute whatever enzymes are in your stomach even. So it's really a lost cause. Unless you have drank enough water throughout the day, no water with your meals, and you chew your food really, really well. And then another thing that you could do is, say you have cooked food, so now you're not drinking the water and you're chewing your food really well, you can have digestive enzymes. Take a digestive enzyme before you go into the restaurant or before you eat a complicated dish. And there are enzymes to take before the meal and enzymes to take after the meal when you're feeling like, oh shit, I shouldn't have eaten that. And it's really, really good stuff. Okay, so now we got to get on to the dessert. So we can put that in the freezer. I've got the cashews in here and the dates. And now what? The almond pulp.
We're about to put the
Almond pulp. Okay. And I'm going to mix that together. Then the 5 tablespoons of cacao powder. Yep, you have a tablespoon for me. Yeah, take that off, yeah. Oh, here we go.
Thanks.
So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm being generous with my tablespoons. 5. Okay.
Coconut.
Now I need to add 4 tablespoons of dried coconut. Do you have a tablespoon? Yep, I've got it. I got it right here too. I got one right here. Okay, 4 tablespoons of dried coconut. Okay. I'll put that right there. And 2 tablespoons of honey or maple syrup. And I'm going to use the sugar of my choice, which is maple syrup. Dark maple syrup has 300 times more antioxidants than light maple syrup. Why? It's dark because it's the last of the season. So the beginning of the season, the sap runs through the tree. And as the days go on, it's usurped all the sap from the tree, and now it's drawing it from the earth. So the minerals from the earth make it brown. So the minerals in dark, it's actually called grade A, very dark color, strong taste, or robust is the grade. It's all grade A now, but get the darkest you can. 2 tablespoons of dark maple syrup.
Is that what was grade B? I haven't kept up with that.
It was grade B,
Okay.
exactly. Now, there's same amount of sugar. It hasn't changed the glycemic level, it's still 54. The only difference is that it's got 300 times more antioxidants and more vitamins and minerals, including B vitamins. Wonderful maple syrup. So I'm going to pulse that. And then now a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and then I can press it in the sheet. Okay. Quarter teaspoon. Brian Clement of the Hippocrates Health Institute always says that if you cook food, you've killed all hope, because you've killed the hormones, oxygen, phytonutrients, and enzymes that is available in the food. You've lost all hope. So it's hard to believe that there actually are natural hormones in food, and if you do eat raw foods primarily, as we have, then you don't go through hormonal imbalances as much. Going through menopause is really easy without symptoms. I had no symptoms going through menopause 10 years ago. And then phytonutrients, that is what is in the plant to help it prevent itself from having bugs. So phytonutrients is an immune builder, natural pesticide for the plant. So if we consume phytonutrients, then we are building our immune system. Now here is the brownie mix. Doesn't that look absolutely yummy?
Delicious.
So my assistant is going to put on a pair of gloves here, and she's going to press it on the bottom of our brownie sheet, and then we're going to put it in the freezer. And it's almost 7:30, and at 7:30 I'm expecting another guest, and we're going to have a new assistant and a new camera person. But we can wait until Jen arrives. Okay, so breakfast. Chia seed pudding is made. Let's see. Chia seed pudding is on page. Page 14. And I pre-made this, and I wanted to add a little more of the almond milk. And then I'm going to make a separate one for Joy. Yes? That's it? Okay?
Yep.
We can make it more of into a square.
Can we see what it looks like?
Yeah, of course.
She's going to make it into a square.
Sorry, can you soak the chia seeds in the almond milk or water the night before?
So the chia seed pudding is okay. There's 2 ways of making it, either with 1 serving or with 3 to 4 servings. I've given this recipe. I've given the recipe for the 3 to 4 servings because it does last in the refrigerator for 3 or 4 days.
Freezer, right?
You soak it with
Freezer.
milk.
So what you do is you mix the dry ingredients together, and it's a great breakfast for traveling because I can take a Ziploc bag and I can put the chia seeds, the organic rolled oats, which are gluten-free, and the cinnamon, and then maple sugar instead of maple syrup, and mix it all together, in the Ziploc bag. And then when I go to my destination, all I need to do is add the rice milk or the almond milk, and then put it in the refrigerator, and a half an hour later, you have breakfast.
You could even use water too.
So you could even use water, exactly. You can use,
Yeah, coconut as well.
And you just eat it out of the bag?
No, you.
no, so then I take the contents of the Ziploc bag, and I put it in a bowl, and then I add the amount of milk, and stir really, really well. And I do need a spoon. That's one thing that
I suppose you
a
could
spoon.
make it in the
Oh,
bag.
spoon. We only have one.
I know, that's one thing that I didn't get was a spoon, a mixing spoon.
Sure.
That's
Have
it?
to go.
Okay, and so you have to go. All right, so we're going to do the changing of the guards. So this chia seed pudding, for those who can have the almond milk, yes, if you could put on the apron. We have a new assistant, Rebecca Miracle, is stepping up and helping me out. Thank you, Rebecca. So Rebecca, if you can put some chia seed pudding in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Right. And so now I'm going to make the chia seed pudding, and I could do that in one of these bowls. Well, put in, yeah, exactly, just that much. There she is. And there's Jen. Yeah, well, you got us in a quiet moment. Welcome, Jen. So, Nicholas, we're doing a little changing of the guard here. We've got a new camera person coming aboard. Nicholas is taking over. We've got Rebecca Miracle taking over, and she's serving this. So chia seed pudding is packed with protein, and it includes cinnamon, and cinnamon is a natural energy booster. On page 8 of the manual, 5 foods improve your metabolism: lemon, cinnamon, sauerkraut, raw that is, cayenne pepper, and coconut oil or coconut milk. So that's why we're putting in the cinnamon and having the cinnamon as part of this. So for one serving, I'll have 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. One, 2. So here's my chia seeds. Okay, we see the chia seeds.
The raw.
Yeah, raw chia seeds. Yeah, come on up. Check out chia seeds. Yes. Then a 1/3 cup of the oats. Slivers. Okay. Thank you. Okay. The chia seeds. Thank you, Anne. Okay. So then a third cup of the oatmeal. And if you could wash. Oh, she already washed all these. Thank you. Oh, one thing it's just occurring to me now, Rebecca, if you can take the brownie mix and take these slivered almonds and press them on top of the brownies. The brownies are in the freezer. Okay, so now I've got the 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 1/3 cup gluten-free oats, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, so I've got a teaspoon of cinnamon. Lately, the big craze in the research and digestion is microbiome. Everyone's talking about microbiome this, microbiome that, and what is microbiome? Has anyone heard about that research about the microbiome? Do you know what it is, Anne?
I'm probably not the best one to explain it, but.
Well, basically, it's the bacteria, good or bad, that is in our digestive system, primarily in the colon. And we all need the healthy bacteria to help digest the food. It's the bacteria that sort of feeds on the food and help it process it so that it can be bioavailable through our bodies. It's the microbiome in our systems that determines what your metabolism is. The microbiome is why some people can gain weight while others won't when they've both eaten the same thing. It's trillions and trillions of universal bacteria that's here in our gut, and we all have a very unique fingerprint of what our microbiome is. And we can enhance our microbiome by eating fermented foods and by eating enzymatic foods as well. So back to my chia seed pudding. So I've stirred up the dry ingredients really well. The chia seed, the oatmeal, and the cinnamon. Now I'm going to add the wet ingredients. So I'm going to add 1 cup of water. And I'm sure I've got a measuring cup in here. Let's see, 1 cup. 1 cup. Yes, there we go. 1 cup of water. Eight ounces of water.
No, does that have to soak overnight?
Well, what we'll do is we'll have it at the end of the day. This will be Joy's dessert.
Oh, okay,
Because it only takes a half an hour.
okay.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're going to add the dark maple syrup. Now, maple syrup producers, this is pretty controversial. They will tell you, oh, there's no difference in the degrees of maple syrup. maybe it's because they want to make sure that everyone buys all of their products. I don't know, but in the freezer. Yep, that looks beautiful. So I'm stirring this all up, and by the end of the evening, it will be chia seed pudding. Okay, Rebecca, if you could put that in the refrigerator. Okay. Now, we've taken care of breakfast. How was the chia seed pudding, by the way?
Good. Very good.
Very good. And now, wasn't that really easy to make? I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, is to show you that it's time and it's not about time, and it's not complicated to make these few changes, and to slowly work your way and having more and more raw food. You will definitely start seeing the difference in your level of energy, and if you need to lose weight, you will lose weight. If you need to gain weight, you will gain weight, because the body will be just going right back to the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make the lunch. And what it is, it's the beauty salad. And what we've done is we've got these beautiful plates for our salads. And I'm going to make one salad, and Rebecca is going to notice how I'm doing it, and she's going to make the other 6 salads. So you can just take out the 6 plates.
Are there
Okay.
nuts in that salad?
No, no nuts in the salad. Okay, so the first thing we're going to have in our beauty salad, all beauty salads need a minimum of 4 items: a sulfur-rich food, a fatty food, a salty vegetable, and a seaweed for beauty. I'm also going to add romaine, which is silicon. So this salad is going to have silicon and iron with the romaine. So I'm going to start with the romaine, and we had that in a bag. Where did she put the romaine?
Might be on the counter over here.
Oh yeah, there it is. Thank you. So we're going to start out with romaine, and let me put on my gloves. Do you have gloves, Rebecca? There you go. Oh, yeah, you need 2. Okay. So romaine has the silicon and the iron. And where's my glove? And why do we need silicon? It's for our elasticity of the skin, and I'm reading from page 16 of my guidebook. And where I get this information is from, and excuse me, Anne, would you mind grabbing that book, Beauty, Eating for Beauty, and hold it up for the camera? Eating for Beauty. This is where I get this information. And then the other book is by Kat Jane. Oh, Eating for Beauty is David Wolfe. And then this is The Truth About Beauty by Kat James. And I met her at the Natural Product Expo in Anaheim, but I haven't met David, but he has written many, and he is known as an authority in raw foods, David Wolfe. So each salad, we're going to start with a couple of pieces of romaine for the silicon and iron. Then we're going to have sulfur-rich food, so we're going to have a little arugula for the sulfur. Now, there are people who are sensitive to sulfur. The sulfur is like in onions and garlic. But we're just going to put a little bit of the sulfur arugula. Then we're going to have some sulfur watercress. Watercress, we're so lucky in the valley to be able to get watercress that is hydroponically produced right here in the valley. And I've heard that watercress is the most nutritious green on the planet. Has anyone else heard all that information about that? Yes, I'm getting some nods of the heads there. So watercress. So I've got watercress, and I need to tie my shoe real quick or else I'm going to fall. Okay. Fatty food. So I have two things for a fatty food. I've got avocado. So we're going to have a couple of avocados. Is there anyone that doesn't like avocado? Okay. So we're going to have 2 or 3 avocados. Then the other thing is to have a crunch for our salad. I have brought sunflower seeds. Important to add the crunch. So a few sunflower seeds. Okay, so that's the fat. Now, the salty vegetable is either celery, kale, spinach, or chard. And what we're going to have is kale. But what I'm going to do is I'm taking the kale and I'm just breaking it in teeny weeny little bites so that it mixes with the salad. Okay, so now we've got the sulfur-rich food, which is the arugula and watercress. We've got the fatty food and salty vegetable, and then seaweed. Oh, and another thing I wanted to add is for a sulfur is green onion. Is there anyone that doesn't like green onion? Green onions?
I'm not so much on.
Not so much on green onion?
Not so much for me, but.
Okay. So mine will be for hers, and then you'll put a little bit of green onion on everyone else's. Green onion actually is one of the few vegetables or foods that has the same amount of phytonutrients as it once has. Through agriculture, our food in the food system doesn't have as much phytonutrients as they once had. I incorporate green onion every single day in order to ensure that I have phytonutrients for myself every single day. So you still don't want any green onion?
I've just been a little sensitive to onions, but.
Okay. Yeah, some people are sensitive to the sulfur. But see if this is something that you may need to incorporate in your life. If it's balanced with the fat and all of that, it might be different for you. Okay, now I'm going to make the salad dressing that we're going to use for this. And with the salad dressing, I've pre-made the 2 tablespoons, oh, actually, yeah, this looks a lot more than 2 tablespoons.
It's 4 tablespoons and a quarter of a cup.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, you see how the recipe is 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 4 tablespoons of flaxseed oil. So what that means is you need twice as much flaxseed oil as you do lemon. So I see that this is just under a quarter cup of lemon. So I'm going to add just under a quarter cup. So it would, yes, so just under a quarter cup of flaxseed, which would be just under a half there. Flaxseed oil once. And then I have to do it again. So it'll be just under 3/4. 2. And then 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. A lot of things with maple syrup today. And that's got cinnamon on it. Yep. 1 teaspoon of maple syrup.
Are you
Double
doubling
the
the
recipe,
recipe
so
though?
you need a second one.
Oh, thank you. And then 2 tablespoons, because I doubled the recipe, teaspoons of Bragg's liquid aminos, which is a low sodium form of soy.
Is that just soy, or are there other,
It's a soy alternative, actually.
What are the other ingredients in it?
Um, It's a non-GMO soy. It is coming from soybeans and purified water. It's vegetable protein from non-GMO soybeans and purified water.
That's the only ingredient?
That's the only ingredient.
Oh.
That's it.
Like
Emery, do you
water.
ever use?
Or do you want to pass it around?
Do you ever use vinegar in your cooking?
Apple cider vinegar sometimes, but generally speaking, no. Vinegar is too acidic for the system. We really try to stay away from vinegar, but that's a really great question. So as a purist with the Ann Wigmore Health Institute, Natural Health Institute, they would say no vinegar. But hey, a balsamic vinaigrette every once in a while is not going to hurt you. So
Yeah, that's interesting, because there's so much literature about apple cider vinegar's
Yes.
benefits, and that it is balancing, so it's really interesting to hear you say that it's too acidic. 'Cause
yes.
I've never heard, like.
Well, and then apple cider vinegar, a lot of people drink that first thing in the morning
Instead of lemon.
instead of lemon. And I say, hey, go for it. Go
But
for it.
with
But
this health institute,
they
say
don't
that
promote
it's-
that. No. But, you know, like I said, I would say go for it. Oh, and I brought the whisk. This salad dressing needs to be whisked. And it actually thickens up and turns color the more you whisk it. And then we're going to pour a little bit of this salad dressing for everyone. Look at that. Do you see how it just changed color? Okay, there you go. So I would put just this much. Just, yeah. All right. So that's the salad. Now, no salad would be complete without bread, right?
False.
Oh, dulse. Thank you. See, I need my my husband as my assistant. Dulse is number 4. So we've got the sulfur-rich food, the silicon. The sulfur is a foundational mineral for beauty and radiant complexion. It's the essential thing to establish collagen. Zinc is required for skin beauty, protection against the sunburn, cell growth, fertility, night vision, and improving the sense of taste and smell. And what are we having with zinc in it today? Sunflower seeds. The sunflower seeds in your salad is the zinc. Iron assists in the process of respiration. It is the most active element in the body. And what do we have for iron? We have the romaine lettuce today and the onions.
And the dulse.
And the dulse is iron and manganese. Manganese, thank you. So we're just sprinkling
Manganese.
a little bit less than that. Yeah, like that.
Are the, is there something about the sunflower seeds that don't need to be sprouted or?
No, it's much better to have them sprouted. I didn't sprout them here because the quantity is so small that I'm using it for the crunch factor.
Did you bring your sprouting can?
I didn't bring my sprouting can, but I brought my sprouting bag.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I sprout by hanging this up. I have hooks under the cabinet and a bowl to collect the water.
Oh, it's used in tar. You use a sprouting bag.
I use a sprouting bag. And then that way, in the morning before I go to work and as soon as I get home from work, I put the sprouts underneath the faucet and then I create the sprouts.
So they're just damp, they're not sitting in?
So they're just hanging there damp, exactly. And then when you come home, you'll see all the little tails sticking out and you can feel it. Oh, it needs some more water. So then you put it underneath the sink to get some more
You
sprouts.
soak them first. That's after they've been soaked.
So yes, first you soak all seeds and nuts to remove the inhibitors.
Do you have a list of things that can be soaked that are not seeds, well, that are not nuts? Like what about
Sure.
beans and stuff?
Legumes.
You can sprout them?
You can sprout lentils. Lentils
What
are
about,
awesome.
like,
Garbanzo
chickpeas,
beans
yeah.
are awesome to
'Cause you had
sprout.
that last time, there was like a whole bunch of them in a.
Yes, sprouting garbanzo beans, because they're so big,
Uh-huh.
you need to sprout them you need to soak them, and sprout them. So it's a 48-hour process, between 36 and 48 hours to really get that little tail.
Doesn't it make them less acidic?
It totally makes them less acidic, it's alkaline.
So do you get dried ones?
Yes,
Oh.
I get the dried garbanzo beans. They're only the size of a pea when
They
they're
sell them
dry.
in
They sell them at Mahurons.
What other beans? What other beans taste good as sprouts?
Any bean, any
Any
bean,
bean?
any bean.
Wow, any dried bean?
Yes.
You can put in a sprouter?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And you
But
eat
the
it in a
best,
salad?
but the best is lentil and garbanzo. That's the
What
best.
type of lentil? Red?
Any kind of lentil,
Okay.
any kind. Okay, so now we're going to have the bread. She's going to hand them out. Yep. Now,
Can we put this in a salad too?
oh, my goodness. There's Nicholas for me.
What are those?
These are sprouts. They are sprouted peas. Speaking of sprouts, I thought we definitely needed.
Some people sprout their beans before they even use them in cooking. And as soon as it has a tiny, tiny little tail, it's sprouted.
And do you
That's
cover
right.
them with water, Anne Marie?
Yes, so sprouting almonds is like you would take a container like this and put this much almond to this much water.
Oh, okay.
So,
Do you refrigerate it or you?
no, just, you know what I do is I take my sprout bag
Uh-huh.
and I put it right over. So I don't close, I have it open, so pretend this is nuts and water, and then I put the sprout bag to keep any flies or whatever away.
Do you like that better than that sprouting jar that had the grate on top?
Yes, I do. I've been using it more often.
Okay.
But the sprouting jar with the grate on top is awesome too.
Okay.
So these you can purchase online.
But you soak them first and then,
And-
Glass jar.
Yes.
and then put them
Yes.
in the, okay.
So if I wanted to sprout, so like these beans, these were sprouted in a bag, but they were soaked first.
Thank you.
Yes. Sprouts is the real living food, especially sunflower sprouts. The sunflower sprout that has the two leaves that look like this is the king of all sprouts because you've got the potential of a 9-foot or 6-foot plant, all in this little baby sprout. Okay, now for the lunch, we've got dehydrated onion bread. And how I made that was I made it in the dehydrator like this. It came out, I made the mixture and then poured it. And then after an hour in the dehydrator at 120, I just boost it for a bit just to get it started for 1 hour. Then I scored it, and then continued to dehydrate it for another 6 hours. Then I flipped it and dehydrated it for another 4 hours. So yes, this was something I did on and off all day. Not yesterday, but the day before. Yeah, yesterday. I did it because yesterday. That's right. So each person has, yes. Oh, did you make yourself a salad too?
Well, there, yeah, yes I did.
Good.
Does that have any nuts in it?
No, there's seeds. Okay, so in the dehydrated onion bread, okay, and then the television audience, take out your pencil. It's 5 cups of coarsely chopped sweet onion. 5 cups.
Are there any nuts in there?
No, there are no nuts. It's sunflower seeds and flax seeds, no nuts. So it's 5 cups of coarsely chopped onions in the food processor. Don't turn it into mush. It's so easy to turn onions into mush. And it took actually 4 rather large onions to produce 5 cups. It says 3 large, but the ones that I used just, I guess, weren't large enough to produce 5 cups. So I used 4 large sweet onions, 1 cup of sunflower seeds that have been soaked overnight, 1 cup of ground flax seeds, and a 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then the magic ingredient is 3.5 tablespoons of raw soy sauce, which is nama shoyu. And I get this bulk at Hunger Mountain. Nama shoyu. It's like a tamari. I'm sure liquid aminos could be used as well, no problem.
Why don't you use tamari?
I just used this because I thought
Oh, okay.
I thought the name was cool.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think of the bread?
Yummy.
Yes, you eat too now. Yeah? Great. Well, that's one thing that is the hardest thing about eating raw is no bread. And really, by eating no grains, it enables me to have better food combining. And I'm going to go over food combining real quick because it's 8 o'clock. I have 1 hour. I'm in good shape. I think I can do this all in the next hour. Oh, this onion bread is so delicious. Are you having some? Yeah, you got some. Did you have a salad? No? Okay. So, process the sunflower seeds in a food processor and process to a fine meal. take out the food processor, take it out of the food processor and set it aside. Place the onions back in this food processor and chop until small but not mushy. Place the onions in a large mixing bowl and add everything else. That's one of the things I really love about raw food. It's mainly taking all these ingredients and putting them all together. So you're either blending with a food processor, blending with a Vitamix, or using the juicer. But raw and living food is not typically just salads. As a matter of fact, eating just the hard raw vegetable is very hard on your stomach to digest. By blending, we are doing something called pre-digesting. Pre-digesting makes it easier for the digestive system to work and to assimilate all the nutrients. Because after all, we're really lousy at chewing, typically. We really should be chewing so much that it forms a liquid to activate the saliva glands.
You should sell this bread at your.
I should sell this bread?
It's weird.
How is the salad?
$10 a loaf.
How is the salad, everyone? Great? Excellent? So that's your salad for beauty. One rule of thumb that we use at the house is if we can have 7 ingredients. It's something about having 7 ingredients in a salad that makes it magic. So before I go on to the next thing, which is our dinner, I'm going to go over food combining. And I'm going to have some more of that onion bread. Excuse me while I eat and talk at the same. Okay. Food combinations. Why? Most animals that walk on the earth, when they eat something, it's just one thing at a time. Only humans take 2 or 3 things and combine it. So we are asking for trouble once we start combining things in our stomach. Why? Because different foods have different pH levels, and they're either protein or starch or vegetable, which each of these have different times for how long does it take to digest. So what happens is, if something digests really, really fast, like a fruit, like you've put some blueberries in your cereal. So you put blueberries in your cereal. The blueberries are going to digest right away, but the cereal, that is a starch, is going to take a long time. What happens now is that the strawberries or the fruit in your stomach ferments. It has to go bad because it can't be processed completely. It's got to sit around, wait in the stomach until everything is all digested, and then it goes through all at once.
Why?
Because the fruit digests faster.
But then wouldn't it go through the whole system faster?
If you ate fruit first
With nothing else?
with nothing else,
Mhm.
waited 15 minutes, and then had your oatmeal, that would be perfect.
So what happens when the cereal is present, like physiologically?
So when there's cereal and fruit together in your gut, then you have incompatible foods, and one is going to take longer than the other, and you're going to cause havoc, wreak havoc. So for example, protein should never be mixed with the starch, because the protein and the starch, when it's combined, putrefies. It's a chemical reaction. So what we've got is vegetables are our friend. So we can have all this protein, but one protein at a time is best. So this goes really well with vegetables. And then all these starches, potatoes, grains, beans and peas, squash, artichokes, they also go really well with vegetables. The problem comes when you want to combine the protein and the starch. That's a big no. And fruits should be eaten alone. And then if you want to get really technical, fruits are divided into 3 categories: starch, subacid, and acid. And this is okay, and this is okay, but this is a big no, big no-no. Starch is an alkaline, and the acid, so you're mixing alkaline and acid at the same time.
So the starch fruits shouldn't be mixed with the acid fruits?
That's correct.
So
So banana and strawberries does not mix. And it's our favorite in our standard American diet, right?
What about blueberries?
What about
Blueberries.
blueberries? Yeah, let me see where blueberries fall. I believe blueberries is in the acid group. So this is what happens to our colon when we have improper food combinations. When things putrefy in your colon, they become all messed up like that. So colon health is super important. This is a healthy colon. It's about 5 feet long, 5 to 6 feet long, and it becomes just messed up and jumbled from having years and years of food. Yes, it shortens. It shortens physically. It bulges in places and gets extended in places and get small in places. Yes. So as we age, that's what our colon looks like. These sketches are based on actual colons from cadavers. I mean, this reminds me of the no smoking advertisement, you know. I mean, when you see the lungs and how awful the lungs look. Well, if everyone actually could visualize what does the colon look like, maybe they would pay attention to what they're eating in terms of eating for health rather than eating just solely for our taste. But what I'm here to prove with this demonstration is that eating healthy has no sacrifice on taste, even no sacrifice on time. And I mean, yes, it takes being organized, but you know what? It didn't take a lot of time. Ultimately, it was just a lot of time here and a lot of time there in between. You have to be available. So the other thing that I do on the dehydrator, this is our snack, is a fruit roll-up. So you can take one and pass this around. These are strawberry. This is solamente strawberry. And how you do it is you take the fruit, whatever fruit, put it in the blender, and then you pour it on a sheet. And so when I poured it, I smoothed it out with a spatula. and then I shook it around to even it out, and then I put it in the dehydrator overnight. And then the next day, all you have to do is peel it off. And I started it here for my demonstration, one of these corners.
That's peach.
This happens to be peach.
Oh, wow. Sounds really good.
Just peach. We didn't add honey. We didn't add any other kinds of
They used to
sweeteners.
call it fruit leather.
So it's fruit leather. Yes, you can call it fruit leather. Exactly. Awesome for children, but it's also great for us adults, especially when we're traveling and we want to have a raw snack. Snack food is the hardest thing to have raw. I mean, it's so easy for the morning, blend it. So easy for the afternoon, blend it. But for snacking, that's where it's really hard. Okay, I have another treat.
Did you say anything about blending with cow's milk versus water versus almond milk versus that?
Well, the Ann Wigmore Health Institute does not promote dairy, so I avoid cow's milk. But I do indulge in chèvre, in goat's milk, every once in a while, because goat milk is easier to digest. But how I've heard it is that cow's milk is designed to make baby calves into huge cows. So anyway, it's worked for me to not have dairy. I used to have asthma and I have cats at home and I was very allergic. Eliminating dairy has been great for me and I think it's really helped for my skin. The water, I'm sure, is helpful for the skin too, the amount of water. We went over water earlier. But anyway, here is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are amazing for the prostate, is what I've heard. What this is made with is they were soaked seeds, soaked for, I think, 6 hours, not overnight, ginger, and maple sugar, not maple syrup, but maple sugar.
What form is the ginger?
Hello. The ginger was the ginger root, and I freeze ginger root. Here, take one and pass it around. I freeze ginger root, and I take the ginger out of the freezer, and I have one of those graters. And you can grate the skin. You do not have to take the skin off of ginger. Just grate it, and then the grating is what I added to this recipe.
When you do that, do you scrub it before you freeze it? Because I kind of think about that, because I have to do the same,
Yes.
but I was like, I've never.
I don't
washed the
scrub
ginger,
it. I
or
don't
just kinda
scrub
rinse
it,
You
but I
use no
just rinse
skin,
it.
is or-
I use the skin.
Really?
Yes, I do, of ginger. Yes. So what do you think of this pumpkin seed treat? Delicious. I should sell that at Mihurons too, right? So here, Constancia, I have something here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Help me. Thank you. Gracias. Okay. So a quick review. We eat vegetables, preferably raw, with starch for dinner, or we eat it with the protein. So some dinners we do this, and we'll have beautiful artichokes, which are very healthy. We'll cook them, right? You have to cook artichokes.
Mushrooms.
Oh, mushrooms is a medicinal plant. So mushrooms, I would say, is in the veggie area, right? But yeah, mushrooms are awesome. So we would either go with the vegetables and the protein, or vegetables and starch. but not mixing. Very important information. We are not taught this in elementary school, and we should be,
Yeah,
right?
you should do a class in this.
Yes, I should. I should. So for information about this and everything I've been talking about, here's David Wolf's book, The Sun Food Diet Success System. And it has everything A to Z, but also his specialty, besides being beauty, is he establishes a way of being able to customize your whatever it is you eat depending on what your situation is. If you need to gain weight or lose weight, or if you this is the basis of his system with a triangle balancing sugars, chlorophyll, and fats. Excellent resource. Then there's The Truth About Beauty, and she spent 5 years basically having no life to create this. It's packed with research, and she has a program where you could go to her facility and come out transformed, absolutely transformed. She transformed her life. Here is a before and after of her. She was in the beauty industry to begin with, in makeup, and she almost died when she was in her 30s. And she was able to transform herself like that. Then I threw in Naked Chocolate for us chocolate lovers, using chocolate for nutrition by David Wolf. And another water book, The Ultimate Cure. Discover why water is the most important ingredient in your diet and find out which water is good for you, by, oh, forget it. I can't pronounce the name. Oh, no, this is Sproutman. I couldn't pronounce the introduction. Batman Kangelij, whatever. But it's Steve Merkowitz, Sproutman. And then I've got some handouts for everyone. And then here is Heal with amino acids and nutrients. And this also goes into the omega. You were asking me, what is omega-3s and 6s? This book covers all that. And it also goes into the acid-alkaline vent. So it is my understanding that our bodies need 80% alkaline and 20% acid. But in the standard American diet, it's usually flip-flopped. It's 20% alkaline and 80% acid. And why do we need that? We need that for the environment, for the microbiome, and for our stomach to be a healthy digesting stomach. One of the things that I brought here that I'm introducing for the first time in my 14 years giving this presentation is Rejuvelac. And Rejuvelac is a super easy fermented drink that I've learned at the Ann Wigmore Health Institute, and that's why I'm bringing it here now, is because I was just there in April. And it's just the next level in being able to really catapult yourself into health and well-being. And I didn't include the recipe for it, but all it is you take a cabbage and you peel the outside of the cabbage and you cut it in half and remove the core. Now I've got 2 cabbages, 2 halves. I use 1 half for each batch. So I take the 1 half and put it in the blender with 1 3/4 filtered water. Blend it to until it's mush. And then I put it in a jar like this, a jar like this. And then I take my sprout bag and do that.
Oh, the cabbage?
Yes, so what this is, I'll do it again. Half a cabbage in the blender with 1 3/4 of water. Blend it to a pulp. Hold that and count to 30. Blend it so much that you're counting 30 seconds. Then you take that and you pour it into a container like this. And then you put a sprout bag on it, let it sit on the counter for 3 days.
Sauerkraut.
It's kind of like sauerkraut, right? Yeah, exactly. So then I take a large pitcher like this kind of thing, and I pour that in the milk bag or sprout bag. And so all the good stuff is now I'm catching it in the pitcher or in the, it's better to use a measuring cup so that you can pour it into something else. So then I take that and then I squish it and squish it just like I made the almond milk. And then I discard that into the compost. And that's what this is.
Cabbage juice?
Cabbage juice, fermented cabbage juice. And you drink it 1 glass a day. Or use this in the morning shake or the afternoon green energy soup. So at the end of the program, you're welcome to come up and have a taste.
Can you substitute that for all the glasses of water you have?
No,
Oh, wow.
you can't substitute. No. Glasses of water is you take your weight, cut it in half. That's how many ounces of water that you need. And you need to wait 15 minutes minimum in between each one. Cool. Okay. So now I've got less than a half an hour. I'm not going to make the green energy soup because I want to focus my time on the dinner. The green energy soup, but I'll describe what it is. The green energy soup is the first thing I do is, maybe I can just do it real quick. I'll just do it real quick. It's avocado. It is green apple, and green apple, not golden delicious. Green apple has a significant amount of nutrients, far more than other apples. Generally speaking, tart and bitter equals nutrients. And since we were children, we have been led astray to not have bitter and not have tart. So a lot of people cannot tolerate bitter, like the bitter of kale or bitter of, what are some other bitter things that we can't? The watercress is pretty bitter, right? Okay, so I've got the avocado. I've got the, a lot of greens can be bitter. And what do we need? We need greens, right? So I'm barely chopping these, as you can see. I make this every single day. And I don't ever use almond milk. I use water. So I'm not going to use the fermented stuff because I think that's an acquired taste. To put it politely. But what I do is I hold it over the sink and I go 1, 2, 3. It's a 1/4 cup, basically, of water. Then I have 1 scallion because of the phytonutrients. So I'll put that 1 scallion. So it's usually 5 things. So I got the avocado for the fat and protein. I got the green apple for the vitamin C and a lot of good stuff. I got the green onion for phytonutrients. I've got the red pepper for vitamin C. Now, red pepper is a dark shade. Some people are very allergic to dark shades, and some people don't recommend dark shades. So what do you use? You use zucchini. It's a nightshade. It's a nightshade. Thank you. Thank you. It's a nightshade. Tomatoes are nightshades. Eggplant is a nightshade. Peppers are a nightshade. So we use nightshades with caution and not so often. So this could be either zucchini or red pepper. And then the fifth ingredient is the kale. All right, so here you go. That's my lunch every day. Right, Ann?
That is right. And we share every day with this lunch.
This is the first time I've ever had a real witness to be able to verify that this is what we do every day.
That's right.
Just think, you don't have to figure out what you're going to eat that day. Okay, so I'm going to start really slow. And then build it up. And then go faster. Now I'm going to put it on the super high. So just watch your ears, everyone. Okay, so I start slow and end slow. All right, so well, we're going to serve them exactly. We've got those bowls for them to be served. Okay, we'll just put a little bit into each bowl, and that's what we do every day. Okie dokie. So now getting on to the main meal. Now the main meal, the entree for tonight. I was first interested in this. I went online. I instead of going through all my sundry of cookbooks, I have cookbooks, my raw food books. I went online, and my favorite website, and I put her on the cover of the program for your reference. I don't know if you can read it. It's the Rawtarian, the Rawtarian's Kitchen. I highly recommend the Rawtarian's recipes. She does a really great job. And what we're going to have now with the dinner is inspired, but not exactly what she had. I got the recipe for the almond brownie from her. Now, I was intrigued when I saw raw mac and cheese for kids. So I produced that ahead of time. Here is this cheesy sauce. It's made with cashews, water, lemon juice, sea salt, nutritional yeast, and then you would pour this over noodles, i.e. zucchini noodles, made with a veggetti. Where's the veggetti? It's around here.
Oh,
but
it's right in front of you.
right in front of me.
Right in front of the bowl. Oh, the metal bowl.
The veggetti. No, the thing that makes it, the spiralizer.
Spiralizer.
Anyway, we'll find that. We'll find the spiralizer. Anyway, so I made this so that you can taste it. But what she suggested, instead of making it with this, another alternative is to make it with kelp noodles. Now, I have never used kelp noodles before, and this is Golden Mine kelp noodles. It comes in a package like this and with water, and so you need to rinse them, rinse the noodles, and break them apart. Well, on the back of the package was a more adult recipe of the same cheesy sauce. And that's what we're making tonight. And I have both the kelp noodles and the zucchini noodles so that you can try them both. Yes, I mean, they're raw. It's raw and gluten-free, free of all common allergens, low carb, low calorie, 10 calories a serving. What a find.
Wait, those are like cooked raw noodles?
No, they're not cooked.
Oh.
They're pulled out and extruded from seaweed.
Oh.
This is a mineral-rich sea kelp.
They look like rice noodles.
They look like rice noodles.
Oh.
Do they, if you
Zoom
order
in on
those too, they don't have those at Maharons?
We found these at Hunger Mountain,
Oh,
Hunger Mountain Co-op.
And is there any way to make that so Joy can eat it without any of the cashew stuff?
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to prepare that for her right now. She can try the noodles and these noodles without the sauce. And we'll put, this is for the dinner. Those are the dinner plates. Yeah. And those will be for dessert. Okay, so here we go. All right, we've got, okay, so for making the cheesy sauce, the reason why it feels like cheese is because it's made with the cashews that you missed it, Jen. I accidentally put the cashews that I saved for the dinner when I was about to make the brownies. So we have a little bit of a treat tonight. We've got a little bit of sweetness in our dinner because I've got some date pieces in here. Should be all good, right? Okay, so 2 cups of cashews. And I have a few more cashews here. Here we go. All right, 2 cups of cashews, 3 tablespoons of chopped basil. So what you have to do is blend all the ingredients except the noodles, of course, in the food processor, and then mix it all together. That's it. So the ingredients are 2 cups of cashews soaked overnight, 3 tablespoons of fresh basil from the garden that we got from Karen Wiseman, thank you very much, who works here. A 1/4 cup of lemon juice. So I need to get some lemon juice. And my quarter cup. 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. And 1/2 cup of olive oil. So I've got the olive oil pre-measured somewhere. I think she pre-measured it somewhere. If not, not a big deal. 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Okay. Okay, if you can make some more lemon juice for me, with more onions. Here, I'll cut it. So we've got 2 cups of cashews with the little dates, 3 tablespoons of chopped basil, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, a 1/2 cup of olive oil, half a cup of olive oil. That's a lot of olive oil. So I'm going to start processing it after I added the 1/2 cup of olive oil. Okay. 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. All right, do we have big garlic fans here? How much should I do? Yeah, go ahead, go for it. All right, well, I'll do this one big chunk and taste it, see how it goes. Okay, then we've got got a little bit of seed. And the lemon, okay. The lemon juice. Okay. And I got the garlic in there. Did I put the water in there? No, I did not. And I also didn't put, okay, I'm still at, okay, so I got the 2 cups of cashews, 3 tablespoons of chopped basil, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/2 cup of olive oil, 3 teaspoons of namashoy or tamari, my favorite here, teaspoons, 3 teaspoons, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, did you say that one is not soy-based?
This, I believe it is, yes. Okay, then 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And we get our nutritional yeast from Bragg's, same company that does the liquid aminos.
Where do you buy that?
Huron's. Yeah. Yeah, didn't you got this at me? I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Salads and popcorn.
Well, now it's part of dinner. It's like a cheese substitute, right? It makes everything taste like cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, then, all right. A 1/2 teaspoon of black, this is crushed black pepper from these beautiful 5 different kinds of peppercorns.
Did you put the salt in?
Yes, I did. Yep. And now I need a 1/2 cup of water. Let's start, it says 1/4 to a 1/2 cup. So just add, right, because it's the same stuff. It's cashews. Yes, a 1/4 cup. And so once you've got all these ingredients in here, then you blend it until it's a thick, creamy mixture, and they recommend slowly adding the water. So I'm going to start this. And you can see already how yummy that's starting to look. All those amazing ingredients. Now, I have a spatula here. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of water. And blend again. Yeah, Yes, so she's preparing our plates with half of the noodles. All right, this is almost there. Let me just see here. Yeah, just a little bit more water. I don't want it too runny. Okay. So with the cashews, we have our protein and fat, the essential fat. And, and then we've got the kelp and then the vegetable. These can be used as a pasta replacement. Just put whatever pasta sauce you want on top of this. And it tastes like al dente noodles.
The squash noodles?
These are zucchini.
Yeah.
Yes.
It tastes like al dente pasta.
It tastes like al dente pasta. Yes, exactly.
I remember that salad you made, it was a couple of years ago.
Yes,
With the shaved, fresh, raw corn.
yes.
And, so good. I made it many times since the class.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so here is our cheesy sauce. And it's going to give us the umami, savory flavor that we desire. And once you have this, you'll not miss meat at all when you eat this. Okay, so we're going to scoop, if you can help me out with this. Scoop it on. Yeah, and we'll use as much as we can. Yeah, I think that what you did is just perfect. Okay, so would anyone like to have a little dollop of the regular mac and cheese off to the side? Let me tell you how that is made. That's with the 2 cups of soaked cashews, 3/4 of water, 3/4 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, so it doesn't have as much lemony as the other one, and a 1/3 cup of nutritional yeast. That's it. And then you throw all the ingredients in the Vitamix in a high-speed blender, because you see how this looks just like cheese for macaroni and cheese. And I bet any child would like that a lot. And then another thing about this mixture is throw it on top of your salad. And you will use that instead of salad dressing, right? Oh my gosh, yummy. That is really yummy.
Be good on your onion bread too.
And you put it on the onion bread, right. That's it. So typically how I serve it is I will take the noodle and this cheesy sauce, and I will mix it really all together really well so that the cheesy sauce is blended, really coat those noodles hard for the cheesy sauce. So you can pass this around so they can see that, and also so they can see the noodles.
So did you say that kelp noodles, you soak them, or you just?
Oh,
use
just
them?
rinsed.
Just rinse them.
Yes, and that was as per instructions on the bag. Yes. Okay, so let's sum it all up. We had 3 breakfasts. We had cucumber juice, we had chia seed pudding, and we had the morning shake. Then we had a lunch. We had the salad and the onion bread. And then we had snacks. We had the fruit roll-ups and the pumpkin seeds, the pepitas, the pumpkin seeds. And then we had the lunch, the green energy soup, as a healing, that's your healing soup. And then finally we made the dinner. Oh, this is what I wanted to garnish all of our plates with. That's what I wanted, a little basil.
That's really good.
Is it really good? Well, we're putting a little garnish on each one. Little basil.
Aw, that was nice.
So what's the consensus on dinner? Yummy? Yeah, good? Really good. You know, maybe we should add dates to the recipe. Okay, so then the only thing now left, and we've got 10 minutes to go, is the dessert. So we've got the dessert that is
We're savoring over here. It's delicious.
oh, great. Okay, so the dessert, this is a chocolate brownie that is made from almond milk pulp. So a lot of people ask me, what do you do with the pulp? This is one solution. Now, if you don't have almond pulp, there are many other recipes for making raw chocolate brownies. This is just a real handy recipe for when you've got this pulp and you don't want to throw it in the compost. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this up, and we're going to use a spatula to cut it, which I believe is in here. And we're going to put a piece in on a plate. And then, yes, and then the other thing that we did is we made chia seed pudding without the almond milk. And I'll see how that's coming along. And it looks fantastic. So I'll need to get a spoon. Let me grab a spoon here and give it a good stir. Yes, the chia seeds do. They get really, really big.
4 times their size.
Yes, 4 times their size.
One time
I
I put
think.
too many in one of those puddings and it was
You know, which is a really good point. People take the chia seeds
dumped a ton of it,
and they dump it in their shake, right?
and then it becomes like solid.
How can our stomach digest that? You know, it's just going to go right through. It really needs to be sprouted. And we made this,
So when
2
you
hours ago?
You sprouted the chia seeds before you mix them in there?
No,
Or
no, no, no.
that sprouts them with the liquid? Okay. Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
I
It
just
takes
used
like
water.
20 minutes to sprout
It
those,
takes
right?
about 20 minutes to half an hour, but the longer the better. And so, half an hour.
Flax seeds.
That's a really good question.
so
We
hard.
don't, what we do with flax seeds is we ground them. And how do we ground flax seeds? In a coffee grinder, really. That's the best way to grind them, and that makes it digestible. I don't know why we don't soak flax seeds. That's the one exception to the rule.
They probably don't ever sprout. They're so hard.
So anyway, we made this chia seed pudding for Joy, and the only difference is that I used water instead of almond milk.
You can sprinkle coconut on it.
Oh, do you want coconut?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. That's a great,
You know, a lot of schools are nut-free. It's really important.
On with the brownie?
oh, well, she can't have a brownie. This is just for her.
Okay, but
Oh, you mean the other chia seeds pudding?
I didn't know if you wanted me to put the pudding in.
No, no. This is just her, this is for her dessert. But what I'm going to do is I'm
Anne
going to,
Marie, a lot of schools are going nut-free, especially the elementary schools.
yeah,
So, a lot of kids have nut allergies.
My husband has
Okay.
that severe.
I'll
nut
pass that
allergy.
for
Yeah.
us, Leslie. Thank you.
But it's becoming so much more common.
That looks great. We can have seconds. We've got leftovers. Okay. So look at this, yeah, look at this amazing brownie that we've got here. So have you all had enough to eat? Okay. All right, we don't want anyone to go hungry on any of these raw.
That sauce was so good.
Oh, so good and so easy and so easy to make.
So many zucchinis in my garden.
Okay, great.
Yellow squash.
People have zucchinis, they don't know what to do with it. This is what they do, but I have to find the veggetti. Let me do that, I'm on the hunt. Real quick. And then, yeah, it's right here, because I'm sure the television audience would want to see this. So this is veggetti, it's probably $9.99 online kind of thing.
Did you get those long pieces from that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, so you just take whatever, a carrot, a cucumber, a zucchini, and there are two sizes, fat and skinny. And then here's the top. So when it gets to the very end, you puncture the top of the zucchini and you twist it that way. And you just go around and around and around and around. Very, very easy to use. Okay, so to summarize and to end the program now, why do we want to eat? Why do we want to eat healthy? Well, our state of mind determines what food we eat, and the food we eat determines what state of mind we have. So whether we are conscious of it or not, and this is a quote. Where did I put my quote? Do I have no? Gabriel Cousins, MD, said whether we are conscious or not, what we eat is a reflection of our thoughts and our thoughts and our intentions. And whatever we do on a regular basis is going to be incorporated with what we eat and the decisions that we make. So our food determines our state of mind, because all of this is brain health and balances us psychologically. So if the food determines our state of mind, and if our state of mind determines what we eat. So do we want to age gracefully and to be able to go skiing until we're 80 years old like Henri? The only way to really do that is to take care of our bodies. And the only way to really do that is to drink all that water and to eat this healthy food and to get a ton of sleep and to, of course, get a ton of exercise. We all know this. We all know this. We all know how much exercise we should have, how much our body craves. So this is a part of the whole big picture. It's not just the food. It's also the exercise. My husband and I, we do Pilates at Zoe's Pilates. And we do it once a week or twice. Nicholas does it twice a week. And I also have a morning routine for the mind as well. And that's after the lemon water, we meditate for 13 minutes after reading from sacred authors. So by meditating, and then we do 10 minutes of yoga. So it's a half-hour routine that we have committed ourselves to for the last 4 or 5 years. We incorporate that because this is all a part of the mind, body, spirit balance to create a healthy body and a healthy being, so that we can do what we came down on this planet to do. What is our purpose? What is our purpose in life? To fulfill our purpose, let's eat raw and living foods. Thank you very much. Thank you for the meeting. Thank you for our time. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Nicholas, thank you, Mad River TV. Bye-bye.